Welcome back. My name is Kirra Like Mirra. I am back again with a great video just for you. The weather has been terrible where I live, which is bad news. But the good news is it gives me plenty of time to put out some great content for you. And today I have something exciting. Today I'm going to be talking about an indoor activity, which is a plus if your weather is anything like mine, which is music. I'm going to be talking about essential apps that you definitely should have on your phone if you're a musician or a singer-songwriter or both. Last week, of course, I talked about how I myself am a musician, and I gave some great tips on songwriting for any lyricists out there. Feel free to check it out. I'll put a link in my description. Today, though, all the apps I'm going to be talking about are apps that I use on a weekly basis, or they're apps that I will use more and more over this time while I create and release new music. The first two apps I want to talk about are Spotify and Pandora. Now, you might be wondering why these two apps that everyone uses. No. You absolutely need these two, both for the beginning process of making music and creating it, and the end process after your music is complete. The beginning process is filled with inspiration as well as discovery and introduction. So I use Spotify specifically for music that I'm already acquainted with and need to rediscover, or if I have a specific artist in mind and want to hear different songs from them. I use Pandora, however, for the algorithm and discovering brand new music that I don't quite yet know. The algorithm knows me really well, and it consistently gives me great music that I haven't heard before. So that's pretty important for me. You also need Spotify and Pandora because after your music is complete, these are platforms that you're going to be using, platforms that your songs will be on. So the same way that YouTubers became acquainted with YouTube before they started putting videos on there is the same way you need to get used to those platforms for your music. It is great to know all the ways that you can promote on that platform. It's also good for knowing how to find your music. You also want to be able to check how your music sounds coming from these platforms, so you can make sure the sound quality is good and it's not too choppy or anything, and there's no problem with the music after it goes live. The next app that I use all the time is the Voice Memos app. I cannot express enough how much I will record myself while doing a morning routine or while I'm driving, and then I'll play it back to get some good sounds or good lyrics to myself. I did mention it last week, but this is the brunt of creative work, is really live recordings of me just doing things. So I use that app, if not every day, every other day of my life. And it has changed the game as far as my creativity. I also use the Metronome app. Now, this one, I will admit, I did not get this app until my producer suggested I get it. He wanted me to use it to learn my BPM for the song so I could come to him already prepared with the music and the speed of that song. And it's made me more of a professional artist. It's also helped me in the creative process. So sometimes I'll put on the metronome, put on my voice memo or voice recorder, and I'll freestyle over the metronome, which will help me do a fast-paced song if I want to do one, or make a song ballad on the fly. The next app I want to talk about is Soundcloud. Now, I know what you're thinking. Soundcloud gets played a lot for, oh, you're a SoundCloud rapper. I want to dispel those rumors. SoundCloud is actually a great platform. It's easy to use. It is a great place for storage. It's a great place for unfinished projects or unfinished music, and for you to continue to get feedback from some great fans who will be a really strong fan base willing to follow you from SoundCloud to those other platforms like Spotify and Pandora. You can also develop as a great artist using SoundCloud and become stronger in the time. The last two apps I want to talk about are Bandcamp and DistroKid. These are two apps recommended to me by my producer, who expressed to me how great they are for distribution. They're very easy to use, and it's a great way for you to get onto multiple platforms with the minimal amount of effort made by you. Those are all the apps I wanted to talk about because these are apps that I have first-hand knowledge of, and they're ones that I regularly use. I know there are other apps out there. I know there's great content out there on these apps. I just haven't delved into them quite yet, and I wanted to express these because they're great for beginners, great for people who maybe have a small budget right now, and I hope you appreciate this information. Again, check all the links in my description for links on my music, links on my Instagram. I hope you keep coming back because I will keep making videos. I'm Kirra Like Mirra. See you next week.